Thank you for coming, Secretary. I appreciate your coming and testifying, and it's always good to see you and discuss America's needs and Memphis's needs, which are America's needs, as you well know. Your department and your leadership have made tireless efforts and been instrumental in advancing our infrastructure. The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, we've had most significant investment in infrastructure in decades, addressing critical needs in our roads, bridges, transit systems, and more. I thank you and President Biden and those that voted for this bill. Several discretionary grant programs, such as the Rebuilding America Infrastructure and Sustainability Equity discretionary grant program, RAISE, important. Just funded a program, which I appreciate, in my district, that completed the Wolf River Greenway, a 26-mile pedestrian and bicycle path that needed to be completed, and it's a great opportunity for people to get exercise and get away from some communities and get into better natural surroundings. And we passed almost unanimously, not unanimously, with great bipartisan support, the FAA reauthorization. Those improvements were needed yesterday, but we've got them now. Let me ask you about the I-55 bridge. I know you've heard from multiple stakeholders in my district about the bridge investment program to replace the I-55 bridge. Only 2 bridges cross the Mississippi River in Memphis, one of which you came to Memphis to see, the I-40, when it was closed for several months because of problems and basically caused by Arkansas not inspecting it well. But now it's clear we need a new bridge. This was built at a time when there were not, before the interstate highway system, so it didn't have any interstate highway levels of protection and stats, and it was before we had seismic vulnerabilities for older bridges. The bridge investment program is very competitive, I understand, but this is an important bridge for America. Can you give us any idea of when the FHWA ratings will be shared with applicants and when funding might be announced?
Thank you. As you noted, I had an opportunity to see for myself the critical importance of the I-55 bridge, both for individuals and for America's supply chains. And we're conscious that that bridge project has approached the department in the bridge investment program. Right now, Federal Highway is going through its process with a preliminary review and rating, and then a dialogue with applicants that gives them an opportunity to supplement their applications based on anything they've learned. We reached out to Tennessee's DOT earlier this year to provide some of that feedback and then continue that process. I also want to note that any highly recommended or recommended bridge project application that doesn't give an award in the year when it comes in will be automatically carried forward for consideration under the next fiscal year unless they opt out. In terms of timing, we're working through it right now for the 23-24 cycle, hoping to make a round of awards later on this summer, and again, very conscious of the importance of that particular opportunity for the community in the region.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Passenger rights has been an important part of my service on this committee, and I know you've done a lot with it, and I thank you for your recent rules on fee transparency and cash refunds for flight cancellations. What do the implementation timelines and enforcement of these rules look like?
So the rulemakings each have their own clock, typically 6 months or less to comply, although I will note that the refund provisions that were included in the FAA reauthorization go into effect right away. And so it's simply a matter of us aligning the mechanisms to be able to do so, which we're working to do promptly. We are proud of our record on passenger protection. We know there's always more work to do as well. And so we're continuing rulemakings on topics like making sure that you don't have to pay extra to sit next to your kid on a flight, and looking into the issue of compensating passengers for extreme delays. In addition
extra
to
for not sitting next to somebody else's kid? Let me ask you about the airplane seat sizes, which is something I've worked on for many, many years. They've gotten smaller and more crowded. There were 26,000 comments about the discomfort of current seat sizes. Given your recent efforts to improve the passenger experience, nothing could be more important than a comfortable seat. Can you assure us that seat width and pitch will not get smaller?
We continue to assess what our authorities might be in this regard. I can certainly assure you as a frequent flyer that I've experienced the squeeze you're describing. And of course, in order for us to undertake regulatory action, it would need to align with one of our statutory authorities. FAA has looked into some of the safety implications of that.
Let me just ask you this. When they do the study, last time they didn't have anybody over 60 or 65 and nobody under 18, nobody with a disability, nobody with a dog. Can you make sure it looks like the flying public? That was an absurd test they did.
We're conscious of the limitations under the study that was run before, and we'll certainly hold that in mind in going into any future study.
My last thing, just to throw it out, safe streets. Memphis was unfortunately first in pedestrian deaths, and we need more safe streets money. And we want to, I know you're dying to ride the train from Memphis to Nashville to Atlanta, and I look forward to doing it with you. I yield back the balance of my time.
Likewise. Thank you.